Hi, I'm Ashish Mathur. Welcome to a video on sales data modeling and interactive visualizations using Excel's business intelligence features. For other solutions, you may visit my website ashishmathur.com. Okay, so here's the sales data of one of the companies which I chose to slice and dice using the business intelligence features of MS Excel. Before I actually jump into showing you what the analysis is all about, it would be in place for me to just run you by what the data set actually looks like. So here I have a simple sales data set which has approximately 15 to 16 odd columns. And let me just go column wise to actually run you by what these actually represent. So the invoice ID column is basically a unique number which is assigned for every visit that the salesperson makes to the relevant outlet. So this is data for actually a company in the non-alcoholic beverage sector, which has dealings with a lot of outlets that it wants to sell its products to. So the outlet types to which the company sells its products are all mentioned in column F. So it sells its products to artwork, bakeries, college canteens, convenience stores, departmental stores, and so on. So for every visit that the salesperson makes to a certain outlet and sells a certain SKU, there's a separate number assigned to that particular visit that he makes. I'll talk more about this once I've run you by the other columns as well. So PJP over here stands for Projected Journey Plan. So if a person visits an outlet that he had to visit on that specific day, then he's assigned a number. Then that visit assigned is assigned a number one. And if he visits an outlet which he was not assigned to visit that particular day, then there's a number zero assigned to that particular visit. So in this column, you'll see there'll be two numbers appearing, 0 and 1. That's the sales date, the sales time, the outlet ID that he visited, the outlet type visited, the city, state, warehouse from where the material was dispatched to be delivered to the particular outlet, the employee ID, the SKU placed, the SKU code. So the SKU code over here can be understood as the brand that the company sells. So the company sells two brands, brand A and brand B, and these are the various SKUs of each of those brands. So if I were to go to the filter drop down over here, you'll see brand A has further SKU subtypes. Okay, that's the total quantity that was sold. Um, the scheme rate, QPS rate, and discount scheme are basically three columns that pertain to discounts over here. Since they do not have many numbers, I haven't paid much attention to this in my analysis, which I'll discuss with you from now on. Okay, then that's the unit price at which that particular SKU was sold. Amount, which is a simple multiplication of price per unit into quantity, and the number of pictures taken. So any agent who visits a certain outlet is required to take a picture of the outlet so that the next visit that he makes to that outlet uh, can be a more knowledgeable one in terms of if he's taken a picture, he can see as to where would he want to have his product placed in that particular outlet. So this is also one of the parameters on which the employee gets appraised on depending upon how many pictures he took per outlet. So coming back to the very first column, which is invoice ID, I just like to further clarify as to what these numbers represent. So let's take a look at employee AC 131 who visited on the 14th of February, outlet 8312, and you'll notice the sales time for all three are the same. Now, I have the same the same invoice ID has been assigned to all these three row line items simply because there were three separate SKUs that were sold. So if he makes one visit but sells three SKUs in that visit, there are three different line items for that, but the invoice ID remains the same. So also, even if he does not manage to sell anything in the visit that he made, he will record a certain entry for that visit, but there'll be a no sale appearing in the SKU placed column over there, right? So that's what the data set looks like over here. And while we can use pivot tables to get some preliminary top level analysis, we will not be able to get a lot of in-depth analysis. And I'll run you by what do I actually mean by in-depth. So before once again I jump into showing you some specific sheets of this model, I just like to sort of apprise you of what methodology did I actually use to create this model in the first place. So the sales data has been analyzed using the business intelligence tools of MS Excel. The specific BI tools used for this model are Power Query, Power Pivot, and Power View. Initially, a lot of analysis has been done with the help of the first two tools to study the most critical aspects of the sales model, such as month-wise outlet and outlet performance analysis, gross new outlets partnered with, outlets not visited within 2-3 months, month-wise employee performance and analysis, and so on. Once the analysis was completed, the key performance indicators along with interactive visualizations were studied using the third BI tool mentioned above, which is Power View. Okay. In this brief video, I'd like to walk you through the worksheets in which I could derive answers to my favorite questions based on the data which I just showed you. So a few of my favorite questions which I could which I could get an answer to using the BI tool were as follows. How did the company perform in both the years 2013 and 2014 on two of the most critical key performance indicators, which are quantity sold and number of visits? Also, I wanted to see what's the month-wise breakup across the 2 years. So this company is a relatively new one. It commenced operations only in February of 2013, and the data in the sales model is till April of 2014. So that's approximately 14 odd months or so. I wanted to further study and slice the two KPIs from various perspectives, such as the type of outlet visited, type of visit, scheduled or unscheduled visits, day of the week, brand, sub-brand, and so on. So I wanted to actually pick up the quantity sold and slice and dice that by these various perspectives that I mentioned over here. Over a period of time, how did the various SKUs fare on the twin planks of effort, which is number of visits YTD, and the business generated, which is the quantity sold YTD? So we'll actually see as to how interactive visualizations actually help me study this data. Okay, I further wanted to study as to what's the, I wanted to further analyze and see the performance of the company on both KPIs during festive season promotional events or periods, during different months of the same year, during the same month of different years, the QTD performance. Then I wanted to actually study what is the complementary product sold analysis. If you typically visit an Amazon.com website, you can see information there such as people who bought this also bought this. So similarly over here, I wanted to see in this month outlets which bought this SKUs also bought which other SKUs. I then wanted to study what is the outlet rank slippage. So if in the year 2013 I get a list of what the top 10 outlets were, I want to know what ranks have they slipped to or what have they moved up to in the year 2014. Then in any 1 month, which new outlets did the company partner with and on which date was the relationship forged in that particular month? Which employees visited their assigned outlets once in 2 or 3 weeks instead of visiting them once every week? So in this company, the standard policy is that every outlet should be visited once per week. However, I wanted to identify where the lapses are, as in where did the employee actually not visit that outlet in that week, but instead visited that outlet within, let's say, the next 2 weeks or the next 3 weeks or so. So having established a base in terms of showing you the data set, what the methodology was, and what my favorite questions are, let's now actually jump on to seeing as to how did I answer these questions actually. So let me take an example of showing you the plain Jane scorecard over here. So if I click on that specific tab, you'll be able to see across the 2 years, which is 2013 and 2014, what was the quantity sold, what was the revenue earned, what were the number of visits made, which were the unique outlets visited, um, what was the conversion ratio. So the conversion ratio basically is of the total visits made, how many of them got converted into sales actually, and what is the average quantity sold per converted visit over here, right? I've left ample space over here simply because as operations expand and as years pass by, there will be more rows required to show more number of years over here as well. Now, what I further wanted to do was for these 2 years, which is 2013 and 2014, I wanted to see what the month-wise performance has been on quantity sold, revenue, number of visits, and unique outlets visited. So I have the same set of 4 columns over here for the next year as well, for 2014 as well, and that's the month-wise breakup. So just to take a simple example, the total quantity is 318.74 over here, which is broken down to 238.21 and 80.53 for the 2 years. And that breakup month-wise is actually shown over here, 238.21 here and 80.53 over here. And the same is true for the others as well, such as revenue earned and number of visits. So this is a simple table, I would say, where there's no interactive visualization, and this is what I would want to see when I open this model more at a 30,000 feet level. So that's a gist that I want to see of how the sale, what sales happened, what revenue did I earn, month wise and year wise. Okay. Next, I go to a sheet called the quantity sold review. Herein, you'll see a few miniature charts wherein I've tried to study the quantity sold from various perspectives. So first and foremost, at the top left hand side over here, I have a table that shows me year wise what was the quantity sold. Herein on the right hand side, I have a simple column chart that shows me what is the breakup of the quantity sold by different agents. Herein I have what is the quantity sold by different SKU types. Here I have the quantity sold by different outlet types, so that's modern trade, artwork, at work, E&D, travel, so on and so forth. That's the quantity sold by different sales periods, pre-lunch, lunch break, post-lunch, late evening. Here's the quantity sold by scheduled or unscheduled visits. So scheduled basically is where I have a number 1 assigned to the PJP column that I had mentioned in the sales data sheet, and unscheduled visit is where there was a 0 appearing in that particular column. And here's the quantity sold breakup by different days of the week, which is Monday to Sunday. And herein on the pie chart, you see what's the breakup of the quantity by different brands. So that's brand A, that's brand B. Okay, now the reason I say these visualizations are quite interactive is as follows. So let's say I wanted to actually see over here the total quantity sold to convenience stores across both the years was 32.19. So that's 32,000 units. If I actually click on this over here, you'll see while only that particular bar gets highlighted, others dim out, and this click automatically filters the other charts on that particular worksheet as well. So the breakup of 32.19 across different SKU types is shown over here, across different employees over here, different sales periods here, days of the week here, and so on. Now, what's most interesting over here is the pie chart. On the pie chart, you'll see every slice has a dark portion and a lighter portion. So if I take my mouse over, let's say the dark portion over here, it says for brand A, the total quantity sold was 140.81, but the highlighted portion is 13.42. And the same happens over here as well. So the highlighted is 18.78. 13 plus 18 makes it to about 32. That's exactly shown over here. So I can basically see the quantity sold from various perspectives by simply clicking on any one component of any chart over here. So likewise, if I were to actually click on brand A here for 140.81, I get the breakup of 140.81 again from different perspectives here. I click back on that and I come back to where I started from. Okay, now I've done a similar analysis for the visits as well, which is the effort that's been put in so far, and this carries a similar structure to what you already saw on the quantity sold sheet. So I have what is the year-wise breakup of the number of visits made and the unique outlets visited, and that's the breakup of the visits made across different employees and store types and days of the week, brand, sales period over here. And here I have two miniature line charts over here showing me what was the month-wise, sorry, what is the month-wise conversion ratio and what is the month-wise number of visits per outlet. So as one can see, if I look at data across both the years, the highest conversion ratio actually falls in April. And if I wanted to see as to how this ratio actually is different for different outlet types or so, if I click on, let's say, travel, then I can see that this ratio actually across both the years is higher in the month of September, right? So one can make a lot of inferences by simply clicking on any one bar or column for any particular type of for any particular miniature chart shown over here, and it automatically cross filters all the other charts on this particular slide. Okay, now I come to what is my favorite visualization, which is basically SPU timeline analysis. So here along the x-axis, you'll see I have the quantity sold YTD, which is my which is the throughput or the output that I'm looking at. Here I have the number of visits YTD, which is the effort put in, and here you'll have different colors for different SKU types, and the size of the bubble over here is directly proportional to the quantity sold of that particular subtype. Now there's a little play button shown at the top left hand side. you'll notice when I click on that, the month at the top right corner will move all the way from Jan um, till April 2014 till where my data is, and you'll see along the two scales how did the various SKUs actually perform. So if I click on the play button over here, you'll actually see how the months over here are moving, and on the time scale as the pointer there moves, how did these various bubbles actually move as well. So what inference can I actually draw from this? Let's take a look at this. Let's just focus on these two bubbles over here. You'll see, let's just say this is brand B, and let's say this is brand A. Now brand B and brand A both have similar number of visits YTD, right? They're not very different along the same y-axis, but the quantity sold YTD is far higher for brand A than it is for brand B. So one may want to investigate the reason for why this is actually happening. For the same effort that's being put in, how is it that brand A is selling more than brand B? And if you see this is a lot of information and you really want to focus only on these two and dim everything out, what you could also do is you can select this over here, press and hold the control key, select this over here as well. And when I now click on the play button, you'll actually see with the other bubbles being dimmed out, I can focus only on these two. It also seems that not only has the orange bubble performed quite well, but it actually overtook the blue bubble sometime over here. So this is how you can see the performance of the different SKUs on a time scale as well. So there are lots of other visualizations like this that are possible. Since I'm just showing you a demo, I'd like to stop at these three itself. Okay, now let's look at uh, some of the number crunching which I did using the Power Pivot. So there's a worksheet over here called events and slicers. So my objective basically was to somehow compare the two KPIs, or rather compare KPIs across any two periods that I select. So I have two date slicer boxes over here. Herein I can choose my beginning date, here I choose my ending date, and depending upon whatever selections I make over there, I can actually for the different KPIs see what the uh, what the performance was. So let's say if I take a quantity sold over here, I can see that from February 21 to February 25, which is the selection that I made over here, the quantity sold was 1.15, and from February 5 to February 10, 2014, the quantity sold was 2.99 with the growth rate appearing over here. And this column has been conditionally formatted to show up arrows, up green arrows for green, and down red arrows for red. Okay, sorry, green arrows for growth rates, for positive growth rates, and red arrows for negative growth rates there. Now, these are obviously subject to change by the end user. I can go and select any one date or a block of dates over here. So if I wanted to compare festivities or events, promotions, I can actually do so by selecting any individual set of dates in these two boxes over here. Okay, and just to also let you know, none of these are coming via, I mean, none of these are hard coded. Obviously, these are all coming via Excel's cube formulas. So cube formulas is what you have access to once you actually create your data model using the Power Pivot. Okay, now let's look at one other thing over here. If I take you to the KPI Dashboard monthly sheet here, herein the end user can make a selection of the year as well as the month over here, and depending upon the year or month selected, I wanted to basically create a dashboard like view wherein I can see for a few KPIs over here what was the performance in the same period, same month last year, same year previous month, so on and so forth. So I'll just run you through by a few of what these columns actually are. So I've selected 2014 here in February over here. So in the current year, last month selected, which is February in this case, uh, what was the performance on quantity sold, number of visits, unique outlets visited, and so on. Now, the reason I actually have last month selected there is that here I can choose multiple months as well. So if I choose Jan here and if I choose February over here, it will show me for the month of February what was the quantity sold, number of visits, and so on. Right? Since I've chosen only one month over there, the last month happens to be the month selected. Then I have the current year QTD performance. So the 23.98 quantity sold that you see over here is the total quantity sold for January as well as February. So Jan plus Feb, that's the QTD. Likewise, if I had chosen March, it would have been Jan plus Feb plus March over here. Then current year selected months. what is the quantity, since the quantity sold, since there's only 1 month selected over there, there are no selected months. You get a message saying select more than 1 month to be able to see this. Current year, previous month. So in the year 2014, in the month of January, what was the quantity sold? And here I have the run rate to actually show me as to what is the growth that I see of the selected months over the whole of the previous year. So I have over here, just to condense the view, collapsed a few columns. But if I were to actually click on the plus symbol over there, you'll see I have some other columns over here as well for the previous year. So the run rate over here is basically current year selected months divided by the total performance of the previous year. Then over here I have a few growth rate calculations, which are once again what is the growth of the same year previous month, same year same month, what is the QTD performance, and what is the performance over the selected months. Since there's only 1 month selected over there, once again this column has been left blank, right? And once again, for any year or month that I choose over here, or a set of months that I choose over here, these will automatically keep changing. So just to show you once more, if I choose Jan here, press and hold the control key and click on March over here, it will actually carry out all recomputations and fill up all this data accordingly. So QTD over here is left blank because I've chosen Jan and March, Jan and March only, not Feb. So if I select this, press and hold the shift key and select till March, um, sorry, the QTD over here has been left blank because I haven't chosen only 1 month. If I choose only 1 month, which is let's say March over here, I should have that QTD column as well filled up, right? So that's how it actually works. Okay, then okay, I'll just selectively run you by a few other sheets since there are a lot many of them. So if I right click here, you'll see there are quite many worksheets over here to where I've analyzed data from different perspectives, and I've picked up different columns for my source data to slice and dice those columns. But for want of time, I'll run you by a few sheets only. So let's take a look at the sheet called gross new outlets. So here once again the user selects a particular month from this particular slicer, and having chosen a month, let's say August of 2013, this is a list of all the outlets which I partnered with in August of 2013. So that's the outlet ID, the state, the city, the type of outlet, and the date in that month when the outlet when I partnered with that outlet. So the reason I actually wanted to to know this was that if I get to know which are the new outlets partnered with in a particular month which I've selected, I know that maybe next month, in order to be able to pamper that outlet a bit, I may want to offer a few more discounts, or I may have to pay a few more visits to that outlet. So I need to hand over a list to my salespeople saying that okay, these are the new outlets, and ensure that if you're going by that route, you happen to pay a visit to that outlet as well. So likewise, I also wanted to know outlets visited within 2 weeks. So as I mentioned at the start when I was talking about sales data model, was that in this company, there is an endeavor or an effort to actually go and visit the outlet once every week at least. Now, I wanted to identify where the lapses are. So I wanted to know which were the outlets which were not visited within 1 week, but let's say were visited within a span of 2 weeks. So I've chosen August over here. The year is 2013, and these are the outlets which were not visited. These are the outlets which were not visited within 1 week, but were visited within a span of 2 weeks. So the outlet ID, the state, city, the type of outlet, the employee that has been assigned to visit that outlet. A one is shown basically against all the outlets that were visited within a span of 2 weeks. So this is right now not that important for us. So how many visits were made to this particular outlet in this particular month, right? And how many such visits were there which were within a span of 2 weeks. So I basically need this sheet to be able to hand over to my respective employees shown over here, asking them as to what was the reason why the outlets were not visited within 1 week, but were visited within 2 weeks. Then I have something similar for outlets visited within 3 weeks as well. So I've chosen August over here. The year is 2013. That's the outlet ID, state, city, the type of store, the employee ID. And this is quite similar to what you've already seen, just that this is showing you a list of all those outlets that were visited not within 2 weeks, but within 3 weeks, right? As as against being visited every single week actually. Okay. Then the next worksheet over here is outlets which did not buy from me in a specific month of a specific year. So I've chosen August here once again. The year is 2013, and this is the list of all the outlets which were not visited, which did not buy anything from me in the month of August 2013. So once again, outlet ID, state, city, the type of outlet, the employee assigned to that particular outlet, how many visits were made to that outlet in that specific month, what was the date of the last visit, what was the date of the last sale, and what was the date of the next sale. So taking a case in point over here, let's say 8344 did not pick up any quantity from me in August of 2013, though he was visited once in August 2013. The date of last visit was 26th of July, date of last sale was 12th of July, and the date of next sale was 28th of Feb. So this sheet is fairly informative in terms of once again knowing as to which are the outlets I need to follow up with. I need to have a reason for why the outlet in fact was not sold to or was not visited at all. So it could be a fairly handy sheet to actually have once again, which I can hand over to my employees or sort of get a list of who are the people that I should be speaking with, which are the outlets that are of concern to me. Okay. Then I also have something called outlets not visited this month. So the previous worksheet was outlets not sold to in a particular month. This one is the list of outlets not visited this month but visited in the previous month. So I've chosen August over here. The year is 2013. This is the list of all the outlets that were not visited in this particular month. The state, city, the type of outlet, employee ID, what was the date of last visit. So if I've chosen August over here, it will see what was the date of last visit prior to August, what was the date of last sale once again prior to August, what was the date of the next visit after August, and what was the date of next sale as well. So if I take an example of outlet 8363 for August and 2013 chosen over here, the date of last visit was 12th of July. The date of last sale was 10th of April, but neither has that outlet been visited till February 2014, nor obviously have you been able to sell to him till 2014. So I may need to actually pick up the phone and speak to this particular outlet as to why has nothing been sold to them, or in fact maybe question my employees as to why has this outlet not been visited, right? Then I also over here have something called outlet ranking. So on the outlet ranking sheet, I wanted to actually study as to what's the rank slippage of my top 10 outlets which I had in the year 2013. So this is the list of my top 10 outlets in 2013. So that's the ranking 1 to 10. That's the quantity sold in the year 2013 to those top 10 outlets. This is the proportion of quantity sold of each outlet to the total quantity sold to the top 10 outlets. So 87, if 87 were to be 100%, what is the breakup for each of these 10 different outlets? And this is the proportion of quantity sold to this outlet to the proportion to the total quantity sold to all the outlets in the year 2013. So to the top 10 outlets accounted for 36.59% of the total quantity sold in that specific year, and that's the breakup outlet wise. Now let's take another example over here. So outlet 8322, which was a rank 7 in the year 2013, actually slipped to a rank 16 in the year 2014, once again along with similar percentages that we had over here as well. So this gives me a very clear view of which outlets actually did not quite maintain that rank in the current year, which is 2014. And in the sheet below, once again, I have what are the top 10 customers by quantity in the year 2014. So this is the ranking 1 to 10. That's the outlets. Those are the top 10 outlets in the year 2014. Proportion of top 10 and proportion of all over here. Now, two other sheets which I may want to show you are the outlet-wise Pareto chart. So over here along the x-axis, I have the various outlets. Here I have the revenue, and here I have what is the cumulative revenue to the total revenue. So the blue columns over here is the revenue earned, and the brown line that you see over here is the cumulative revenue to total revenue. So this Pareto chart has a fairly long tail, and what I can derive from the computation that I made in the background is that 80% of the revenue is being generated by 24.7% of the outlets over here, right? And I'll come to actually how you can further study and slice and dice this particular chart by using slicers. So I'll come to that in a while, please. Okay. Last thing that I'd like to discuss with you over here is showing you the SKU placed cross sold. So initially, if you remember, I mentioned about an Amazon type of an analysis, Amazon.com type of analysis, wherein I'd like to see as to outlets which bought this also bought which other product. So I have a simple slicer over here where the user can go and select any of the SKUs that the company sells. And in the table below, I have four specific months chosen, which is February, March, and April. What is the how many number of outlets which bought the product shown over selected over here also bought the other product, and what is the quantity sold of other SKUs placed. So I'll just clarify as to what this is. So let's say over here I select brand A, okay, Aam Panna, and once I select that, I'll be able to see that of the 142 outlets in the month of February which bought brand A Aam Panna, 106 of those outlets also bought brand A Aam Ras, and 87 of the 142 outlets also bought, so 111 of the outlets in the month of February which bought brand A Aam Panna also bought brand B LM. So across different months, I can actually get to know for any one SKU type selected over here, which were the outlets, how many outlets bought other SKU types as well, and what was the quantity bought of those particular SKU types, right? Okay. Uh, the other sheets, as I said, there are quite many of them, and I can run you by each one of these, but it'll just take a lot of time. These are the top, a few of my favorite questions that I wanted answers to. Now, before I actually end this video, one more thing which I want to run you through is something called report slicers. So if I head on to report slicers worksheet over there, here you'll see slicers where the user can select years and SKU code, SKU place, type, so on and so forth. Now, whatever selection I make on these slicers over here, the pivots that I ran you through for my favorite question that I had answers to will all have their numbers recompute based on whatever selections I make over here. So if I were to choose, let's say, convenience over here or departmental store over here, all my pivots that I've showed you will automatically update to show me the data only for these two types selected. So let me just show you one quick thing. So if I go to, let's say, the quantity analysis, and this is true for all the other worksheets as well, at the top of every single worksheet, you'll find a yellow band which will actually show you what selection from the report slices have I actually made. So in the year I've chosen 2013, SKU code all, meaning I have not selected any particular setting in the slicer over there, and the same is true for the others as well. And once again, none of this is hard coded. This is all coming via Excel's cube formulas. So any slicer selection which I make on the report selection sheet will automatically appear over here as well. And the reason I actually wanted this was that since there are quite many worksheets over here, if I make a certain selection, let's say a few days, if I'd made a certain selection a few days ago, and today once I open the file, I want to know what these numbers belong to, which slicer selections do they belong to. I need not go back to the report selection sheet over there, report slices sheet over there. I can simply on this worksheet itself, in the top bar over there, get to see as to what selections have I actually made. So this is what I actually wanted to run you through in this short video. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and business intelligence features of Excel look extremely promising. It solves a lot of problems which conventional pivot tables cannot solve. And just to also mention one last thing, on the sales data sheet which I showed you initially, this is a fairly small data set of only about 39,000 rows or so. And this is data only for one particular state, which is Haryana. Now, if I had a lot more rows, let's say 8-9 lakh rows of data, there's absolutely no way we can solve this problem by writing conventional Excel formulas because of the sheer size of this file. So while I haven't tried it up to 8-9 lakh rows or so, but I have taken this up to 4.5, 5 lakh rows, and it seems to 4.5, um, so 400,000 rows. I've taken it up to there, and it worked pretty well, right? So thank you so much for watching this short video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks once again.